Hi there, this is video number 4 on this corroded subframe removal on a W204 Mercedes C-Class. I thought I may as well do, this is going to be a really quick video, I promise, the steps or the methodology that I used to remove this subframe, because there's going to be this and maybe another one, I don't know. But if you're thinking of DIYing it, you want to see my video number 3, which gives you a few pointers of some tools that you might need and what have you. So this is my setup. I'm not saying this is a setup to use, and anything you do is at your own risk, obviously. So in my last video I mentioned this, and this is, although it's collapsed now, this is one of those 500 kilogram motorcycle stands, and it's like a big scissor jack, a broad scissor jack. And I did think about getting one of those scissor type transmission trolleys, which work on the same sort of principle and go a bit higher, but they're around about the 120 quid mark, and this was 30 quid off eBay. And I figured this is dead flat, so it's really good to pack it out. So what I've done, I've got a couple of adjustable trestles at their full height, a couple of 4-foot short scaffold planks, and with the blocks of wood it got it up to the height, jammed underneath with a block of wood underneath the nose, a bit of 3x2, and it was yeah, it works superbly. You can see it's just balancing on that at the moment, and it's fine. A couple of little things, little tips. The you probably guys know that the rubber or the spider joint or flex joint, whatever you want to call it, on the prop shaft, from the diff to the prop shaft, is got some metal dowels, if you like, that sit in the end of the prop shaft, and they need a bit of prying off with a pry bar. It tends to hold it in, and then you can jiggle this, drop the subframe a bit and jiggle it back a little bit, and it should come off. And actually I've tied, you can see I drilled a couple of 3mm holes in the heat shield and actually tied, this is before I took off, tied the prop shaft up with a bit of wire to prevent it coming down too low and maybe damaging something, and it, because if you don't, you're going to be bending all that heat shield above the exhaust. So yeah, the motorcycle lift worked fine. There is no reason, as far as I can see, if you haven't got a hydraulic scissor lift like I've got the car on, is that this methodology wouldn't work with the car on axle stands. So that's it for now. I just need to get a neighbour or a friend to come and give a hand to lift this out now, and I'm going to be swapping all these components, these arms, off onto the new subframe, which is, I'm in the process of trying to give it some sort of rust treatment. But out of interest, since it's come off, there are drain holes where required. But the other thing to note is, after dropping off, this car's done 106,000 miles, and it's been well serviced. I think it had a Mercedes service up to 2 years before I had it. But the bushes, subframe bushes, which I didn't know and have never come up on an advisory for an MOT, and it's been for 3 MOTs with me, completely shot. Back ones aren't too bad, so actually another good reason to change the subframe. Makes me feel slightly better about having to do the job. Not much, but slightly. I mean, this one, this one's even come all the way out, and that could be something to do with video number 2, which showed you how bad the corrosion was supporting the bush, and it's just allowed it all to loosen up. But yeah, completely shot, look. So yeah, something I forgot to mention in the video is, personally, I wouldn't bother hunting around for a second-hand subframe. I mean, obviously that's the easiest option, is to get a subframe complete with everything on it and just shove it on, because as you can see, you know, you could go look at some videos on, you say one of these was selling on eBay, you could see and say, well, it looks fine, but as we know, it's not. It looks reasonable from the outside, but it's knackered on the inside. Anyway, that's it for now. Promise, short video, just to show you the methodology of how I did it. It worked quite nicely. I've just done it by myself. There was no dramas. Nicely balanced on there for 30 quid. And it might be handy for a few other jobs. Yeah, I mean, I did think about forking out for a transmission, hydraulic transmission jack thing, but to be honest, I think this works better, and I didn't want to be spending 200 quid on something that I might use the next 20 years. Anyway, that's all for now. Thanks for looking.